Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, we are joined by the Midwest Regional Champion, Houston, and we will ask Coach Sampson for an opening comments, and then we'll take questions for anybody up here in the dais. So, Coach?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Rick and University of Tennessee. Making the Elite Eight is awesome. It's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. You work on this side of the table of coaching a team when they get to summer school in June all the way through today. I know what it's like. I know the heartbreak and the tears that's going on in that locker room, but they had an awesome, awesome season, and they're coached by a Hall of Famer in every sense. So congratulations to Tennessee on a great year. Really proud of our kids. We play in a tough conference. I think going 19-1 in the Big 12, 10-0 on the road prepared us for this, because the Purdue game was kind of like a road game. Tennessee with their fans, a little bit like a road game too. But our kids are kind of calloused to that, and so kudos to them. Really proud of this bunch. I think the reason why we've been so good over the years is we've developed a great culture that our seniors adopt and make sure that our young kids and new kids buy into it. We're kind of a homegrown program, and we bring kids in as freshmen. And it's been a secret sauce of ours. And we've had two kids the last 2 years in the portal, LJ, who came from Baylor, and Milos, who came from Oklahoma. But their character and their willingness to be coached the way we do it, and their maturity, I think has really helped. So, we have a really good team. I think being humble and staying hungry every day has really helped us. I'm more excited than I'm letting on right now. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for these kids. But it's their moment, and just happy for them.
Thank you, Coach. And we'll take questions for Coach or the student athletes. Please raise your name, state your name, affiliation, and to whom the question is directed. Right here.
Chris Schumer, Capital Sports Journalism. Coach, you guys really jumped on them that first 5-10 minutes of the game. I'm wondering what, if anything, did you see in the last 36 hours that might have indicated that your team was ready to do that?
Well, it wasn't the last 36 hours. Since June, we didn't get good the last 36 hours. We just went through the Big 12 tournament, played 3 games there. The thing I like about this team, I don't think they overreact to anything, good or bad. Kind of keep an even keel. It's kind of the way Milos is, kind of the way LJ is, J1, Emmanuel. They just kind of have a good way about them when it comes to that. We spent a lot of time at Purdue, just like they did us, because from the we played Arizona in the who did we play? Who was our first 2 games against in the tournament?
SIU. What are you talking
about? SIU and Gonzaga. So after SIU and Gonzaga, we knew we were playing Purdue, so we spent a lot of time preparing for them. And then Tennessee, I'd seen Tennessee play quite a bit. I knew it was Kai Ziegler and Chaz Lanier, and they're Deganey kid. We'd seen them a lot, but we just felt like it was a good matchup for us. Our defense and our rebounding I thought Terrence Arsenault coming off the bench early when J1 got his second foul allowed me to leave J1 over there so he could be ready the second half. But the strength of our team has always been our team. Emmanuel and Milos and L, J1, JoJo, they've all taken turns being the best player for that week or the next 2 weeks. But, we have a good team. And whoever we play, is our next game, and we get prepared for it. And that's been our secret sauce.
Question right over here, Dave.
Coach, this is for Coach Sampson and Emmanuel, please. First bucket of the ball game, you guys scored, and then Emmanuel tied up in a volunteer there at the top of the 10-second line for a held ball situation. You guys go down and score, and then after 10 minutes, you're up 17-4. The defensive pressure that was set early. Can you talk about that, please?
Emmanuel, we'll start with you.
That's what we do. We're a great defensive team, and that's how we like to set the tone of the game is on the defensive end. And I think when we come out with the right intensity, we're a hard team to beat. And, we did a great job of that today. And, it helped us as we carried it, on for the rest of the game.
Coach?
Yeah, we start with our defense. Our kids understand how meticulous we are with our game plans, what we're trying to take away. And our kids have a very high basketball IQ. We have a very smart team. We're able to do some things that maybe outside the box, whether it's spending extra time like on baseline out of bounds plays. We spend a lot of time on that, offensively and defensively. We take pride in not being scored on baseline out of bounds. But Tennessee was different than Purdue and Gonzaga in that they didn't run a lot of ball screen stuff. They did the second half. But the first half, they just changed the angles of their pin downs. Not a lot of staggers. Lanier and Gainey, Ziegler, if you watch them when they beat Auburn or beat Alabama, they played a certain way. But, we play the way we play. And our kids are very confident in our approach and our defense.
Question right here.
LC Norton, SB Nation. Question for Coach. Hard-fought game, building that early lead, then protecting it, ultimately taking that intentional shot clock violation late in your last possession. What moment did it really sink in that you're going to win the game ultimately and move on to the Final Four?
Well, I don't allow myself to think that way until the game's over, out of respect, number one, for the game. You always respect the game. And then number two, respect your opponent. Now, when the game was over, I was excited, but I know how hard our kids work. I know that, most of our work is done in anonymity. Nobody's ever around, and I prefer it that way. We start in June. What is Monday? Baseball field, right?
Yeah.
We do 18 100-yard sprints in time. And if anybody doesn't make it, we start over. That's part of our culture. You be on time and you're held accountable for everything you do. Once you teach accountability, then the next phase of that is responsibility. And that's why our kids this is very much a player-led team. They're responsible for our success. And, as a coach, that's the way I prefer it. This is the 11th team I've had at Houston. I think we've won 30-plus games 5 times, but this is the first time we've won 34 games. And I'm glad this team did it. This was the maturity level of our older guys has been good for our young guys. So when the horn blew, my first thought was to Rick, because getting to the Elite Eight is such an amazing accomplishment, and I knew that he would be a little bit down, so I thought about him. I was really happy for my kids, and then when I turned around and saw my son and my daughter, my 2 grandkids, and my wife, I I feel good for them too, because they have to put up with a cranky old coach sometime. It's good to be able to share this with your family, and that's what's most important to me.
Right here.
Mo Hyder from ABC 13 Houston. Coach, I've asked the players this, but I wanted to ask you, looking forward to next week, how exciting is it to have the Final Four in San Antonio, so close to Houston for the team, as well as for the student body and the fan base as well?
Excited about it. You know, we 2 years ago, we beat Auburn in Birmingham, and we were the higher seed. You know, we were the 1 seed coming here, and Purdue and Tennessee. That's great for them. I mean, they didn't ask to be here; they were chosen to be here, just like we chose to be here. But we didn't really talk about that with our team. We just said 2 more road games. That if Kentucky had won today, that would be a road game because their fans are going to quadruple our fans. Tennessee's fans were awesome today. What's the attendance at this place? Does anybody know? What's the seat?
Total?
18,500.
Well, we had 18 today, Coach.
18,000, so that's probably, 16,000 Tennessee fans. That's awesome for Tennessee. It's a jump on the interstate and get here. But that's what we'll do next week. We'll jump on the interstate and we'll head down to San Antonio. So that's why you don't complain, because it can flip the other way. Proud of our guys for finding a way to win. We beat 2 outstanding programs, not just teams, great programs here this week in Purdue and Tennessee.
We got about 4 minutes or so right here.
Hi, Liv Clemens with Indiana University. This question's for Milos. From the beginning, you guys dominated. What message did this send to Duke in the Final Four?
Milos?
No.
I mean, I feel like we always want to throw the first punch. E-Man, the way he guards, he was able to get a jump ball early. I feel like it shook those guys up a little bit, and it's super important to just keep our foot on the neck. So I think we did a good job with that.
Questions, please. Right here.
Coach, given what happened to Malik last game, he made that clutch 3 and had a significant contribution. How awesome is it to see him really just compared to that day and to this day?
Coach.
I'm going to let L take that one.
Go ahead, Fo.
You can ask it again.
How satisfying given what Malik went through the last 24 hours to see him.
Talk about that dog. I mean, Malik is one of the most underappreciated players on the team, most underrated players in the country. So we definitely appreciate all the little things he did, and I'm glad he had a moment like that to hit a big shot for us, because he does all the small things that people don't really talk about, like getting rebounds, loose balls, block shots. So, he's a big piece of our team, and he stepped up big for us today. And he had a concussion.
Yo. Dave Reinhardt, WCBK Sports. Coach, about 6 minutes ago, the score got to be about 11 points, and then 5 threes fell in a row for you guys. Boy, let's talk about that run right there at the end of the ball game.
Yeah, I've seen that many times from our group. Home and away. I think we're one of the top 2 or 3 maybe three-point shooting teams in the country. All 3 of these guys shoot 40+% from the three-point line with volume attempts. So it's no surprise. I was more surprised they missed some of the ones they did. But, just kind of stay the course. When they started pressing us, my message in the huddle was be fearless. Don't be afraid to take a big shot. And don't be afraid to miss it either. What's the worst thing can happen? You miss it. Well, we're also a good offensive rebounding team. That's why missed shot is so much better than a turnover. Can't rebound a turnover. So if you get a window, I talked to LJ about this a lot. I don't have to talk to Emmanuel. Emmanuel usually shoots whether he has a window or not. But LJ is a little more frugal in his approach. But all three of these guys. Milo's had 6 threes the other night, last game. LJ's had many games with 6 threes, and so is Emmanuel. So that's part of our offense is that we've got outstanding offensive rebounders. And normally we don't take an offensive rebound back up. Normally we kick it out, and we call those daggers. So we dagger our offensive rebounds. That gives us another opportunity to make threes.
We got time for a couple more, and we have one on Zoom.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldc.com. For the student athletes, you heard Coach talk about getting the 34 wins and being happy that this team's the team that got to do it. What has it meant for you to be a part of the Houston Brotherhood and to reach the Final Four together this season?
Emmanuel, we'll start with you.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, please repeat.
Right, I was looking.
What does the season's accomplishments mean to you guys?
Getting a school record 34 wins,
Yeah.
and me saying, and I'm glad it was this team that did it. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, it's a good feeling. Just knowing what we've been through this season. We went through some struggles in the beginning, and a lot of people doubted us. But we got back in the gym, watched a lot of film, cracked down on the little things that we had to get better, and we fixed them. And we improved ever since then. And ending up where we are now is great. With the players that we have on this team, it's just we've come a long way, and it's a great feeling.
Milos?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good feeling. This team, it's a brotherhood here. I love lacing up next to E and L every day. So I mean, it's definitely it's big time for sure.
LJ?
It's special because you're doing it with guys that you love, and it's always good to be on the right side of history. So yeah.
Thank you, guys. All the best in San Antonio.
Okay, thank you.